If the men who fired the machine guns at the St. Valentine's Day massacre would have talked about how and why they did it, that would have been both news and history, a rare glimpse inside the criminal mind. Same goes for John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and other mass murderers. They didn't talk about their crimes, but tonight, Richard Speck will. It will offend you. You don't have to watch. But a haunting video made by Speck and two inmates inside Stateville Prison provides historic insight into one of the most heinous crimes in U.S. history.
What you locked up for?
They count murder.
Did you kill him?
Sure I did.
Why?
Just one there night.
It just wasn't their night. The thoughts of Richard Speck, laid bare a quarter of a century after his crimes, just 2 years before his own death. From the time of his arrest, Speck maintained he could remember nothing of the early morning hours of July 14th, 1966. The grainy jailhouse video proves Speck not only a killer, but a liar.
Did you have a gun on the night of the killing?
Yeah, police got it.
Police got the gun? Why you didn't use the gun? Why did you prefer to use the knife?
It doesn't make too much noise. It is in no shape to run. And the knife's quiet.
Speck used a gun to threaten, the blade in his hands to kill.
All I went to do is just burglary. Started off as burglary. And all hell broke loose.
All hell broke loose, a killer's shorthand for the slaughter of 8 young women. His mistake? Leaving one alive to tell her story. 23-year-old Corazon Amurao hid under a bunk bed as Speck dragged her friends, one by one, to their deaths. Just hours after the killings, Cora was taken to a hospital, where she was interviewed by police.
This knife that he had, what kind of a knife was it, you know?
For the first time tonight, we hear her description of the killings.
Was it a big knife or a little knife?
From Cora's account, physical evidence, and the new details Speck provides, we can now pinpoint at least 2 critical moments during the night. First, the moment when Speck cut Pamela Wilkening's bindings and led her from the room.
What happened with Wilkening?
Well, he took Wilkening up.
And did he bring her back in again?
No.
Robbery is about to turn into rape, but 2 things happen. First, Speck encounters resistance from his intended victim.
I found the bastards to rope. One of them spit on me in the face. Said she's going to pick me out of the lineup, and I went off, hit her in the chest with a knife.
The evidence shows that Pam Wilkening died from a single knife wound to the chest. Resisting her attacker, she may have very well been the one who spit in Speck's face, sending him into a rage.
And there's 2 more there, so I off them. Wound up trying to kill off all the witnesses.
The 2 Speck refers to are Mary Ann Jordan and Suzanne Ferris, surprising Speck as he attacked Wilkening.
When Jordan and Paris comes in, we were already tied up.
Yeah, I know.
And he had done something to Wilkening already.
Oh, he had already done something to Wilkening.
They screamed, these 2, and they ran.
And the assailant went and got them, huh?
Jordan and Ferris died violent deaths, suffering multiple stab wounds as they struggled with Speck over their friend's body. It was probably over in moments. Now Speck felt he had no choice but to kill the rest of the women, still tied up in the main bedroom. In a gruesome exchange, Speck schools his fellow inmate on the science of strangulation.
Strangle a person is not like what you see on TV. Got 3 seconds in his head, where you got to go at about 3.5 minutes. Then that's it. It takes a lot of strength.
But there is a second key moment, earlier in the evening, when perhaps Speck's rage began to build. That moment may very well have centered around Gloria Davy.
What he had was what we call a Madonna-prostitute complex. If she was a Madonna, then he'd be on his knees. If she was a prostitute, then he'd wipe the floor with her.
In 1966, Dr. Marvin Zaporin was the chief psychiatrist at the Cook County Jail. Over the course of a year, he would spend hundreds of hours with Speck. For Zaporin, Gloria Davy was the key to understanding Speck's crimes.
While I was working with him, I had pictures of all the girls. When I handed him Gloria Davy's picture, he jumped as if I'd put a rattlesnake in his hand. It turned out that this Gloria Davy was, as he put it, a dead ringer for his divorced wife, whom he hated.
Could Gloria Davy have somehow tapped into Speck's rage for his ex-wife?
I think he abused Davy.
When you say abused, don't be embarrassed. Tell us what he did.
The physical evidence supports this theory. Of the 8 women killed, Davy was the only one that was sexually assaulted. She was also the last one killed. And then there's the bed sheet used to strangle Davy, bound so tight police struggled to cut it off. Finally, there are the words of the killer himself, still spitting venom for a young woman long at rest.
She was going to first with him. She was the last one to go. I knew I had all the time in the world. You had nothing I wanted, I killed her.
Did he ever express remorse?
Not in those words. Not that I can remember. I couldn't truthfully say, yes, he did express remorse.
How do you feel like you put in those ladies?
Like I always felt. Had no feeling. And as I felt sorry or anything, no.
There it is, no remorse. Final evidence of true evil in Richard Speck's own. This video has been around for 7 years, used to pay off debts perhaps, or to get more drugs. We don't know why it was made, but we can tell you that they obviously weren't afraid of getting caught making it. Tomorrow at 10.